Bienvenue à l'émission radiophonique Les révolutionnaires planétaires avec votre animateur Alexandre Timmons.
Perpetual gravitational ball motor. One presentation of the principle of the invention. The perpetual gravitational ball motor is a continuously operating system winding up the ball hitting the electricity-producing funnel. It can operate alone without the contribution of external forces or engineers having to substantially modify the installation on a daily basis. Only regular maintenance of the launch pads, the correct directionality of the trajectory of the projectiles, the evaluation of the roundness of the spheres used and their quality over the time of use, as well as the proper functioning of the electrical cells and the good accumulation of electricity in the underlying electricity grid in accordance with estimates of normal electricity production. 2. From the game to the electricity generating machine. Instead of being just a game like the steam ball of Heron of Alexandria heated by a fire, and which only served to amuse the rich instead of becoming the steam machine with the piston to drive a mechanical movement, it is possible to build a powerful and permanent electricity generator. 3. Shape of electromechanical cells. The way to optimize this system is to install many sensors under the dome in the form of octagonal or decagonal cells or with more facets. The fact that the alveoli are correctly nested one in the other is carried out with the objective of leaving as few as possible neutral zones producing no electricity when the ball passes while rolling over them. The more facets there are in the contour with the pressure sensors exactly adjusted to the weight of the spheres, the more optimized the electricity production will be during the thousands of ball bearings. For electricity production mechanism, when the ball comes back and hits the wall, then the pressure generates a potential differential on an electric wire and transfers the energy to the battery, similar to the invention of sidewalks or roads which generate electricity by walking on them, but without the need hundreds of people advancing simultaneously. So the system is self-sufficient, and the personnel only need to ensure the regular maintenance consisting in reforging or rerounding the balls, or even completely changing the worn sensors after a certain time of use. 5. Ball weight versus electric power. However, the balls should be larger and heavier with the objective of generating enough electrical power to recharge battery sets 24 to 48, or from 110 to 220 volts, for example, or more. The weight of the ball is not implicitly limited because it could be several tons. However, the limitation of the size and its weight are rather dependent on the physical limits of the metals used, then putting pressure on the framework of the gravitational ball motor, and finally on the resistance of the cells, which receive series of thousands of shocks over the years of electricity production. 6. Perpetual gravitational movement. The fact that the ball hits the wall would not significantly slow down its travel towards the bottom of the funnel. Main problem with perpetual motors, which always add friction somewhere in the system, which ends up stopping the frictional movement by its same, because the force of gravity would be greater than the friction caused by the pressure on the sensor or integrated mechanism of electric press. 7. Type, size and damping of electrical sensors. The sensors must be able to take as much the first big shock, a second or third less powerful rebound, and subsequently the rolling of the ball in the dome, which must activate the sensors with less weight and still generate electricity. 8. Planetary gravitation and resistance of materials. Earth's gravity causing any object that falls in the direction of Earth will reach a maximum speed of 9.8 meters/second, so the gravity of the metal ball does not matter if the rest of the structure is heavy enough to support its weight, and the potential metal deformation over the years and repeated passages of the ball. The material of the machine structure can be made of conventional metals such as iron, steel, and other alloys, allowing resistance to impact, weathering, and rust caused by extreme planetary atmospheric conditions depending on localities or depending on global warming future becoming more pronounced. 9. Damping of the impact of the ball. A layer of rubber can be placed at the bottom of the dome in order to attenuate the noise from metal to metal when the ball falls to the bottom, especially if the machine are installed near dwellings, in addition to avoiding unnecessary metal deformations. The thickness must be calculated according to the specific weight of the sphere, because a 10-pound ball will not make the same impression as a 1,000-pound or 1-ton ball, so if you do not want the mechanisms that underneath are damaged, therefore it is imperative to increase the hardness or the depth of the elastic insulation without preventing the electrical mechanism from engaging easily. 10. Size of gravitational machine versus electric power. The gravitational ball perpetual motor can be built in different format, either for an apartment or a house with a size of 1 to 2 meters maximum, or in a version from 10 to 20 meters up to 1 kilometer in height in several tens of copies installed in series, and this for a much more powerful electricity production that can supply the cities of the future as much on Earth as any planet visited and / or colonized if the ambient gravitation allows an adequate return of the ball in the middle of the machine. 11. Motor with several simultaneous ball ramps. A version of the gravitational ball machine can be made with several launching ramps arranged all around the dome, but the synchronization of the arrival of the balls must be very well calculated, because if they hit each other then they risk being damaged, and especially if they are made of the same material. Unless you use materials of different hardness depending on the drop order of the balls, that can potentially shatter each other. 12. Ball rolling time. A rolling time inside the dome must also be calculated, because on occasion the ball will roll a little longer inside before falling into the neck, similar to a white ball in roulette at the casino, which can sometimes extend its temporal and spatial trajectory, but sooner or later it will fall on a number from 1 to 36, so the second ball must absolutely not fall on it. Calculations can be made in advance in order to predict exactly the time range needed. However, it would be preferable subsequently to test in real time the duration that the ball requires to return precisely to the electricity generating container. Copyright Alexandre Timmons 2021.
Bienvenue à l'émission radiophonique Les révolutionnaires planétaires, avec votre animateur Alexandre Timmons.